Hello, YouTube. I have been interested in mysteries of ancient Egypt for decades. And back in 1990s, I published my research in Russian about the ancient Egyptian roots of Mexico. So I was very much surprised to find a brief mention of one enigma of ancient Egypt recently, and it was in a Russian news site. So I decided to find out more, and here's what I learned. I think you'll find it interesting as well. Well, the pyramids of Egypt, a symbol of ancient civilization, have always attracted the attention of researchers and archaeologists. However, there are artifacts that cause even more mysteries and questions. One of these mysterious objects is a sculpture created thousands of years ago, long before the pyramids appeared on the face of this planet. The history of mankind is full of enigmas and mysteries, as you can see by watching videos on my channel. And each new find only increases our curiosity and actually desire to solve these riddles or enigmas. So a mysterious sculpture found in Egypt is one of such enigmas. Its origin and meaning are still unknown. It continues to arouse the interest of researchers and archaeologists from different parts of the world. For more than a decade, actually much more, Concordia University has investigated the origins of a mysterious sculpture. Once it was part of the Diakopulos collection of Mediterranean antiquities, and it has been in the university's possession since 1999. The 67-centimeter high limestone work with traces of pigments depicts two nude seated figures with large heads. They have unusually elongated skulls and limbs. Interestingly, these two figures are sitting opposite each other, face to face. One of them is apparently a man and the other one is a woman, holding a child in her arms. It also features inscriptions in what appears to be an ancient yet unidentified language. This sculpture was discovered in Egypt and brought to Canada in the 1950s by Greek immigrants Vincent and Olga Diakopulos. And they have collected a unique collection of antiquities from different parts of the world, and we'll talk more about it. So far, no authority has been able to confirm the sculpture's pedigree. One specialist commented that if it can be proven to date to the period when the Jews were exiled from Egypt, it could be one of the rarest finds of its kind. According to Clarence Epstein of Concordia University, another archaeologist suggested this statue was either from a pre-dynastic tomb or was an outright fake. Scientists from Concordia University have been trying for many years to unravel the origin and meaning of this artifact. However, despite all efforts, the mystery remains unsolved. Inscriptions in a language unknown to science have been found on the surface of the sculpture. Again, nothing has been deciphered so far. The language is so ancient that it is simply impossible to find similar text or compare it with other languages. This raises even more questions about the origin and the meaning of this sculpture. One of the theories or hypotheses proposed by researchers connects the sculpture with ancient religious rituals and mythology. They suggest that this sculpture may be associated with the cult of the goddess of motherhood and fertility, which was common in ancient civilizations. However, this is only an assumption, and there is no concrete evidence to support this hypothesis yet. Now, Olga and Vincent Diakopulos, who amassed a collection now dispersed in museum and private collections the world over, they brought the work to Canada, identified as the Starving of Saqqara. And this sculpture was exhibited in the 1950s at their family-owned gallery Ars Classica on Sherbrooke Street in Montreal. The name Saqqara refers to the vast burial ground in the ancient capital of Memphis in Egypt. And I mentioned interesting finds from Saqqara in my other videos. Look at the attached playlist about ancient Egypt. It will show you my other videos. However, how this region relates to the work or how it received the name remains part of the mystery. Vincent and Olga Diniakopoulos struggled for most of their lives to find worthy homes for their unsurpassed collection of Mediterranean and Egyptian antiquities. Today, their fascinating finds live in museum and private collections, again, all over the world. And the Vincent and Olga Diniakopoulos arrived in Montreal from France in 1951, bringing with them the largest private collection of antiquities known in Canada. They made a deposition of a portion of their collection in the National Museum of Fine Arts of Quebec, nearly half a century later. These objects represent an array of cultures: prehistoric Mediterranean, Greek, Roman, Etruscan, Egyptian, Babylonian, Assyrian, Luvian, and Hittite. The Diniakopoulos collection was one of the largest private holdings of antiquities in Canada. It included artifacts from ancient cultures, again, from the central and western Mediterranean, very interesting area. The artifacts in the Diniakopoulos collection represent only a portion of the original holdings, but again, very wide geographical and chronological spans. I'd like to know what they have from ancient Minoan kingdom. But we can see that the material from the ancient cultures of the central and western Mediterranean, Egypt and Syria to Greece, Italy, and Cyprus, date from the late Bronze Age through the late Roman period of the 3rd to 4th centuries, Common Era. Artifact types include Greek vases and iconography, Greek, Roman, and Egyptian sculptures, Greek epigraphy, and the minor arts, such as terracotta figures, small-scale bronzes, and glass. And in 1999, the collection was transferred to Concordia University. And that's when they began to study the mysterious sculpture. This university, where the family's archives are now housed, has been celebrating the legacy of the Diniakopoulos family and their relationship with Concordia through several academic projects focusing on their antiquities collection. And as far as we know, the academic research and the remarkable contests of this collection still continues. Now, the Egyptian antiquities owned by the Diniakopoulos family range in date from the pre-dynastic period up to and including the Coptic or Christian period. All major periods are represented, with the largest emphasis on the Old Kingdom. Very interesting. There's not that much out there if you think about this. Only one life-size coffin was in the possession of the Diniakopoulos family. At the time, the collection was managed by the Concordia University. They showed a clear preference for small objects over large, and a preference for stone, particularly alabaster, over ceramic and metal. The few items of clothing belong to the Coptic period. Well, given that the Diniakopoulos family was resident in Alexandria and collected most extensively in Egypt, it is not surprising that many objects of the Greek and Roman periods would appear in the Greco-Egyptian or Romano-Egyptian periods. Much of the Greek material is archaic and belongs to the period when Greek mercenaries were keeping late Libyan dynasties in power. I think you should read, I always recommend it, the book by Ivan Yefremov about Thais of Athens. It's available in English if you want to find out a few very interesting things about that period and even earlier of ancient Egypt and Greece and the surrounding world, India too. Now, the pre-dynastic period is represented principally by gray ware and Nkada 3 red and cream ceramics, while the several limestone reliefs and fragments of statues represent the Middle Kingdom. Very, very interesting. Now, for the late period and the Roman Empire, they are particularly rich in religious objects, such as the painted coffin, portable altars, commemorative columns, ibis mummies, and the caduceus that is more likely to be associated with the Mithras worship than Mercury. The richest part of the collection, however, are the serdab statuettes, that is 1/4 to more than half life-size statuettes of scribes and servants to help the deceased into the land of the West. There are many stone examples from the 5th and 6th dynasties, including one seated couple, as well as a group of 11 wooden funeral statues from the first intermediate period. Fascinating. So, we should conclude that there is one very strange and very ancient statue with an inscription in a language that no one on earth understands. Maybe. Because there are things we just don't know to confirm a statement like this. So this is what I wanted to let you know, and I will bring you more about interesting ancient Egyptian riddles and mysteries, including one of a papyrus in the Russian Museum that talks about an encounter between a human being and a reptile, of course, thousands of years ago, a very unusual reptile. And I think it will make a few people excited about further research. This is what I wanted to let you know. If you like my research, please support me. You'll find the links in the description to this video. Please like my videos and please tell others about my channel. Thank you.